Hello and welcome and hello. Oh wait, that's the other Nick's thing. What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick. Thank you so much for checking out Vlog Day. Today is Monday, June 20th, and we've got tons of stuff to talk about today, so let's vape. Alright guys, getting right into this. I've done extensive notes for this vlog here. I'm trying not to get lost and trying not to ramble this time, so let's get right into it. First up, we have what I'm vaping on. So right away, I'm going to start off with the Stout with the Crown 2 combo here. I've been vaping on this thing for pretty much 3 weeks straight now, and it is a very good tank. I will say it's a very good tank. You probably watched my video review of this tank a few days ago, and I do like it, but I don't think it's that much of a big upgrade. But that's besides the point. You guys, if you want to know more about the Crown 2 tank, then just watch my video review. In the tank here today, I have some Hingham Hill. This is a new line that he's just coming out with now. Let me just get that in focus for you. There we go. So that's some Tiki Bomb, and you can barely see it on there, but it says sample. And that's something that Mr. J. DeLuca is coming out with in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. I'll link a description, blah, 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 links, whatever. But yeah, this is a perfect summer tropical vape. You've probably heard me talk about it before. It's coconut, pineapple, and a little bit of mango. Yeah, it's amazing stuff. Once it's out, I'm not sure if he's actually coming out with it right now, but it will be out very, very, very soon, and I'll be sure to let you guys know where you can get some if you want to try it out. So that's what's in the tank right now. I've got my Half Moon drip tip on top here, and yeah, this setup is just great. I'm rocking it at 55 watts with a 0.5 ohm Rafale coil in here, and I actually wanted to clarify something after the fact of my my actual initial video review. I had mentioned that a new tank means new coils. Well, apparently I was a little bit wrong about that. They do fit the Rafale coils in the Crown 2 tank. However, they have updated the coil system a little bit with the cone-shaped airflow section at the bottom, and I do notice a slight difference, mainly for the fact that this tank here with the Crown 2 coils in it has a much smoother airflow. It feels a little bit more natural, whereas with the Rafale coils, feels a bit more restricted, and I don't know, it doesn't seem right. There's just something about it that doesn't seem right. Also, it took me a few days, well, almost a full day, I'd say, for this actual coil to break in. I was getting kind of a funky flavor off of it for the first 24 hours or so when I was vaping this one here. But now it seems all right. So with that being said, I do apologize for any, miscommunication or anything like that as far as the Crown coils goes. They do fit the Rafale coils, but I feel like they should just come out with the Crown 2 coils and call it a day. They should kind of get rid of the Rafale coil system because I believe they're the same material. The Crown by UL has gone with 316 stainless steel for all their coils, which is, I think, a more efficient, a very good system as far as ramp up time and flavor and all that stuff. I really love the vape you get off of stainless steel. Moving forward, we have a good old-fashioned cloud setup on my Ruby mod here. I have the lovely double helix tip, which I'll show you right now. That's by Jess Marie from Double Helix Designs. Make sure you check her out. She is awesome, and she makes some beautiful, gorgeous tips as well. I like just having this tip on here because it kind of makes this a little bit more fancy. This setup is kind of plain and boring and blah, but just having that little bit of gold flake on top just kind of spruces it up a bit here. But yeah, this is a good old-fashioned cloud setup. I've got a 5-wrap 20-gauge Anarchist wire. Again, I'll just show you that. Really nothing fancy. That's kind of how I used to build before I got into the whole intricate twisting wire, fuse Clapton kind of game. And I'm still learning that, obviously, but I just kind of wanted something simple and easy and just straightforward clouds. That's what I wanted. Hashtag clouds, bro, clouds. You know how it goes. But on here, I have some Hulk Tears by Mighty Vapors. They approached me at VPX and right at the end of the show, and they just were like, "Hey, we watch your videos. We want you to do a review on it." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And I just grabbed this out of the bag, and I wanted something nice and light and refreshing. I read the flavor description. It was a watermelon with a light mixed berry, and that's awesome. I mean, this stuff is great. Very light, very refreshing. They also have another version, Hulk Tears, with menthol in it, and I plan on getting into that because I've been kind of dipping into the menthol again. I don't know, maybe it's because it's summer or something like that, but I feel like I like a little bit of menthol in the summer, especially with a nice watermelon vape. Watermelon pairs so nicely with menthol, for me at least. So yeah, that's what I got going on in there, and this thing absolutely rips. Anarchist wire is good stuff. Nichrome 80, 20 gauge. It's very clean flavor. Ramp time is good. I mean, especially on the Ruby mod here, this is just a nice, perfect cloud setup. Super simple. Can't deny, just great cloud production out of it. This is just nice kind of taking a step back from all the alien wire and fuse Claptons and everything that I've been racking my brain on lately, and just kind of going clouds, bro, clouds. So next up, I have my Rafale with the, Rafale. I have my Goon on top of the Rouleau, and underneath the hood, I've got some really gunky cotton, but I've got some alien wire in there that a buddy of mine, Mike, made me. He used 26 and 38 for the wire in this one. And honestly, I gotta tell you, I'm not a huge fan of using 38 for aliens, because I feel like it's so tight that it doesn't allow a lot of juice to wick into the actual coil itself. And that's kind of the beauty of the alien wire, is that the coil itself soaks up so much juice that you get a nice rich flavor out of it, and there's so many little nooks and crannies for all that juice to get into that it kind of produces this better flavor. But not a huge fan of the 38 as the outer wire. I prefer a bigger wire on the outer, just so that it ramps a little bit faster, and I tend to get less popping and spitting. This thing is a popping machine. I'll show you real quick. Well, it usually does it a little bit worse, actually, when you first juice up the coil. And on the coil today, I've got some Deviant, and that's a conversation we'll get into in a little while, but maybe you guys can see this. I'll turn the focus up close here, so maybe you can see the boiling action when I first hit the fire button. There you can definitely see the spitting a little bit more in that shot there. But it pops, it spits. I have to do a nice 1 second purge before I actually can get into this coil. And that's because I've gotten juice that shot straight into the back of my mouth or the roof of my mouth and burnt the crap out of it. So I tend to have to do a full 1 second purge before I actually take a draw for this thing. But overall, I'm not even going to lie, it's a great vape. At 115 watts, it's a 0.16 ohm dual alien, and it's a great vape. So I guess I shouldn't complain too much. Let's see. I also have my AIO. In here I have the Danish, which is kind of another thing we'll get into in a little bit, but this is another cherry flavor, and I love the 1 ohm coils. I'm just going to rant and rave about these 1 ohm coils till the end of time. They are great. If you have an AIO, go and pick yourself up a 1 or even a 1.5 ohm coil. You'll love it from mouth to lung. I know it's not clouds, bro, clouds, but it's a perfect flavor setup. It's nice and relatively cool. It's nice. I'd say it's warm, but not, hot like a dripper setup. So that is definitely my preferred coil for the AIO. My final little thing I wanted to talk about in this first intro segment here is the coil art coils. I've been thinking a lot about this. I didn't hear a lot of feedback from you guys, so I'm kind of trying to find a way that I can do it in these kind of vlog style videos, where I think I'm going to do it every week. Just pick out a coil, and we'll do in all 3 different tanks. I have the Joytech coils, the Kanger coils, and what else? I have another coil, some other coil. I forget. Anyways, I'll put up a list somewhere over here or something like that for you guys to choose from. But again, they have so many different coils that I wanted to get through like one set a week and just kind of compare and contrast them in the different tanks. So I guess let the voting begin. I'll throw the list up again of what they actually have. It should be running by me right now, and you guys have to pick. It's your choice. So whatever you guys want to see first, that's what I'll do. And we'll do like one set of coils for each 3 tanks a week. And that's what we'll be doing for the coil art segment. Unless you guys would rather me do it in a separate video, that's really, I'm going to leave it up to you. So just let me know and I shall do it. But anyways, I'm going to have a vape break real quick and we'll get to some beer. Today I have this lovely bottle right here, Cascade Apricot Ale. This is a sour blonde. I've already uncorked it. Unfortunately, I started recording and then my camera messed up. But anyways, we're back here now, and I've already poured myself a glass. It had a nice 1/2-inch thick white head on it, nice and bubbly, very refreshing smelling. So before I take my first sip here, let's go over some of the finer details on this one. It says, Cascade Apricot Sour Ale. This Northwest-style sour blonde ale was barrel-aged for up to 9 months, then aged on fresh apricot for an additional 6 months. Aromas of sweet apricot blossoms and tart fruit are present as you draw the glass near. Deep, rich, and apricot flesh. Then tart apricot notes dance on the palate and lead to a sweet apricot flesh finish with a lingering fruit tartness. So the way you rate beer is ASTMO, aesthetics, smell, taste, mouthfeel, and overall. So first of all, aesthetics. As you can see, it's kind of a hazy, opaque, orange, amber color with a very bubbly white head. And let's see, smell. Sour. Like vinegar sour, a little bit of funky. Little bit of that apricot in there, which is kind of nice, a little fruity. Taste, let's have a taste real quick. Very, very tart, very sweet, and very, very sour. Wow. That's like pucker sour, really, really sour. Not my favorite overall, but I felt like I had to try this one. This is an expensive one. It's $29.99. So I just wanted to show off something. I've always wanted to try it, and what better way is to share it with you guys. So for those of you that love beer out there, you can probably appreciate that. But, I got a lot of people saying, oh, well, Grim Green is the one that does the beer. Who am I to do beer? This is actually something me and Nick have talked about in the past. We both love craft beer. We both are very passionate about it. And that's something in our private lives that we, really indulge in more often than not, I would say. So yeah, we both love beer, and that's kind of great because it's something we have in common, so it's a talking point whenever we get together. We can talk about beer, we don't have to talk about vaping 24/7. We're not just vapors. As YouTubers and as people, I am not just a vapor. I also love other things out there, music, tattoos, beer, all this sort of stuff is just my interest as well. So I mean, we can all do our own beer thing, right? Can't we? I think that's a fair thing to say. I mean, if I can be a reviewer, then I can be a beer fan as well. So there you go. But yeah, back to the beer, back to the point at hand here. Very interesting. I'm usually an IPA guy, which is pretty much the polar opposite of this one here. This is like super sour, almost like, I hate to use almost like wine almost. Like, it's weird. Definitely a bit funky. I need to take a longer sip here. I swallowed that way too fast. Oh man. That is pucker sour. That's like warhead sour. It's not bad by any means. I don't know if I'd pay another $30 for another bottle of it, but it's a very interesting very interesting flavor. So yeah, mouthfeel, I would say puckery, if that's a word. It's very tart. It really like, it almost I feel like it constricts your taste buds because it's like that puckery like sourness to it. But it's very bubbly though, so it kind of dances across your tongue. Like it's very light tasting. I was surprised I'm not getting as much apricot out of it that I thought. I mean, there's a bunch of these on the shelves. There's apricot, there's cherry, I think there's like plum and stuff like that as well. So there's a whole slew of these sour ales that they have. This one just kind of piqued my interest because I've always kind of wanted to try this one. I don't know why. It's been on the shelf for so long. The bottles are all dusty, and I just had to pick one up and share it with you guys here, because what better way to share a $30 bottle of beer with, my viewers. So cheers, guys. Yeah, I think for next week's show, we might go back to something I'm a little more used to, because this one here is definitely out of my comfort zone. I tend to like the IPAs, as you saw in one of my earlier vlogs, and this one is just so different for me. I don't know. I know Grim likes a lot of the stouts and porters and dark, heavy beers and stuff like that, which I'm totally into as well, but I feel like I'm more into those beers in the right time of the season. I mean, it is hot in my room right now. It's probably like 90 degrees in here. I'm dying. And this is probably, I've had this out for a few minutes, so it's probably about, 40 degrees or so. But it's still nice and refreshing. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that really would pair with that. I have like a lot of the fruits and stuff like that going on. Let's just take a vape on this Hulk Tears real quick. Yeah, it doesn't really add much. It's still, again, it's the watermelon sour. It really does not add a whole lot of density to the flavor at all. I'm getting sweetness out of it, but that's about it. Not a very good pairing. You know what? Honestly, I would probably pair this with something more oaky, more natural, earthy tasting. I happen to have this bottle of Mother of Mars here, which I would say would probably go really well with it. Or you know what? Even they also have another, oh man, I forget the name of the flavor, but they have like this orange rind tobacco from Moon Mountain that is phenomenal. It's like orange, marshmallow, and tobacco. I think that would pair really, really, really nicely with it. This is definitely on the list because of the oakiness and the natural earthy flavor in there, but adding a little bit of sweetness as well. It kind of would contrast with the sourness. And I think that would make for one hell of a good experience, but I think the orange would pair a little bit nicer with it. So yeah, let's see. Overall, I would say I'd rate this a solid, 4.3-ish, I'd say, if I were rating it on Beer Advocate. That seems to be the general consensus. It's pretty darn good, but it's overwhelming with the sourness. I think it's because it's a little bit of an older one. This is a 2014 bottle, so this is a bit older. It's been aging for quite a while. But yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite overall. Ooh, that is aggressive. That's like a good word to describe it, I think, is aggressive. Whew, man, it's taking a lot out of me. Maybe let's try it real quick with a Danish. Should we do the Grim Green style pairing here? Let's do that. Still nothing. No. I get more sweetness, and the pastry doesn't really add any extra layer of flavor to it really whatsoever. I just get that aggressive sourness over the top. You know what? Real quick, I'm going to drip on the Mother of Mars real quick, and I'll see if that does any better. And don't worry, I know this cotton is used and abused, but I think it'll layer right over the top of it, no problem. This is a pretty strong flavor. So let's go ahead and do that. So once again, trying to pair this thing here. You know. Yeah, honestly, that really did it for me. I got to tell you, that really did it for me. The sweetness of the vanilla and the caramel just kind of counteract that sourness a lot, and then the oakiness to it adds another extra layer of flavor. That was, I think, a very successful pairing. Again, I would really like to try it with the orange marshmallow tobacco that Moon Mountain makes, but overall, definitely cannot complain about that pairing right there. So, wow, I'm surprised I was able to find something that successfully paired with a super sour apricot blonde. Yeah, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead, have another vape break real quick. We'll get to our next topic. All right, guys, so my next topic is the Great Cherry Debate. So I have been vaping this past, week and a half or so. I've been vaping a few cherry flavors, and I kind of haven't tried cherry since, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that, because the first thing you think of when you think of cherry vapes is probably cough medicine, because I haven't seen a decent cherry vape in quite a long time, but lately they've been coming out with some really good ones. Sick Boy came out with Deviant like a year or so ago, about a year ago, and ever since then, that was like the big cherry thing. It was cherry dessert, and it was good, and you couldn't find another cherry out there that didn't taste like medicine. So yeah, then I recently got in a craft vapery box. They gave me Danish, which is a really nice new flavor out there. It's like a cherry Danish cherry pastry kind of thing, and I've been really digging it. So I felt like bringing you guys a little segment today where I kind of go over the two different flavors and what they all entail. So I guarantee, like, if you walk into any vape shop right now and you ask them for a really good cherry flavor, they're probably going to look at you sideways, because there's really not a lot out there as far as selection. And if they don't carry Danish or they don't carry Deviant, they probably don't have a whole lot. I don't know, but maybe that's just around here. It could be like a local thing. Maybe you guys have your favorite cherry flavors. Of course, I recommend you drop comments in the box below if you have anything to say about this topic here, or any topic that I talk about for that matter. So what are your guys' favorite cherry flavors? If you don't vape the Danish or Deviant, what is your favorite cherry flavor? I mean, there's also Hard Times Low and Slow, which is kind of like cherry, maraschino cherry, amaretto kind of vape. But that's a totally different thing in my opinion. It's not so much cherry. I don't know. Maraschino cherries taste very different than a traditional like bakery kind of cherry or pie filling cherry or anything like that. So I went through my whole bottle of Danish. The only Danish that I have left is in my AIO, but I vaped it on the same exact setup for a week straight. And I rewicked, and then I went through an entire bottle of Deviant, or pretty much an entire bottle of Deviant, for the past week or so. So that's kind of my baseline of comparison, is actually on the dripper. But I've noticed there's a few different things about the Danish that I really like on other devices. So first of all, let's just have a quick vape. I just dried off my cotton from the Mother of Mars here, so let's just go ahead and drip some Deviant right on over this one. And again, this is a vlog, so by no means does this mean like, oh, this is the only way things go. Obviously, this cotton is very old and dirty. I've been vaping it for like a week straight, so that's a week's worth of cherry flavor there on cotton. It's pretty brutal. And it's kind of hard to pick out the cherry in this one. Deviant tends to be more of a vanilla ice cream, and with like a little tiny bit of cherry on top, and I get like a pastry flavor in there as well. It's supposed to be kind of like a desserty cherry, and that's kind of what I get out of it. But the Danish, I get more of an icing flavor. It's kind of like that top icing on top of a Danish. That's really the unique flavor that I get out of the Danish. And both flavors are good in their own right, but they're very different flavors overall. Both flavors kind of have that cherry flavor a bit masked and sort of in the background of the flavor itself, because I feel like otherwise it would come on too strong and then therefore taste like medicine. So they kind of hit it well, if that's a thing. Danish hides it with their pastry and with their icing flavor. And Deviant hides it more with like a vanilla ice cream, but it has like a slightly bolder, richer cherry flavor than the Danish itself. So, yeah, they're two very different flavors. I find that the Danish actually is really, really tasty on this AIO, and it's a completely different flavor. With the warmer vape, I got it almost to like the icing flavor. On the cooler vape, on the 1 ohm coil here, it's a little bit more even balanced blend of flavors. The heat, I find, tends to kill off that cherry flavor. So if you're a dripper and you're looking for a cherry flavor, it's going to be tough to find if you're using a very warm to hot kind of build. I feel like this one might be better on a temp control setup. If you have nickel wire or something like that, then I might recommend you try that out with these flavors here at a slightly lower temperature. But yeah, let's go ahead and have a vape on the Danish real quick. And yeah, like I said, it's that nice even balancing of the flavor itself. But yeah, I would definitely recommend trying both on a, I would say both setups. Try them both on a higher resistance setup or a temp control setup, and also try them both on a dripper, because you're going to get different flavors no matter which way you go. You're going to get different flavors on both of them no matter what temperature you're vaping at. So I feel like every single juice out there has its own sweet spot, and cherries is definitely no exception to that. But just with that nice cool vape, or like that warm-ish vape, it brings a whole different spectrum of flavors into the mix there. And that's definitely a good thing, in my opinion. That's a good, you know what, this beer is really good as a palate reset. If you're vaping the same thing for a while, try a sour beer and that'll cleanse your palate right up, I guarantee it. Woo! So, another vape on the Deviant real quick. So, what's your favorite? What's your favorite cherry flavor? I'd love to hear your commentary on this, because I haven't tried a whole lot of them. The last one I tried before these two was probably, I think it was called Cherry Lava from Volcano. That was like forever and a day ago, but that's probably the last cherry flavor I actually enjoyed. And even that one had sort of a medicine-y kind of weird aftertaste to it. It was pretty much a straight cherry. The Danish, I get more of a cherry pie filling cherry, and with the Deviant I get more of like a black cherry, if that makes sense. The Deviant tends to be a little bit more natural tasting, whereas the Danish cherry tastes more like a candied cherry or a very ultra sweet cherry, just like you would find in those like canned pie filling kind of things, where you just dump it on top of a pie crust and presto, you got a pie. That's cheating. But so yeah, I would love to hear your guys' opinions on these two. Have you tried them? Have you tried one, the other, both? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let's get this cherry debate going. Screw the presidential debate. Let's go ahead and fight for who thinks they have the best cherry. Let's make that a thing. Anyways, another vape break real quick, and we'll move on to something a little bit better. All right, vapors, so a lot of interesting things happened this week, and this is going to be my everyday advocacy kind of portion of this video. I think I'm going to be doing something like that in every single vlog, because I love this kind of little small bit of advocacy. It's not really big advocacy, like there's not a lot of big news going on right now, but it's the everyday things that kind of I get entertainment out of, and are also really good for our community. So if you missed it, the Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority, or I'll be referring to that from now on as DWMHA, came out with a billboard somewhere in Detroit that depicted e-cigs being equally dangerous to traditional cigarettes. And of course, the vaping community just got all upset about this. And Greg Connolly made a comment. He said he called vapers to action, recommending 1-star reviews on their Facebook page. So we came out in droves. I mean, the first couple hours there was about 700 1-star reviews, and everyone was citing facts and studies and this and that and the other thing, and just kind of destroying this business here. And I thought that's like the perfect response, because it definitely made a difference. I'm actually going to put a picture of the billboard up right here so you guys can see it. And yeah, so they responded to Greg on Twitter by saying that there are metals in the vapor produced, to which Greg replied by saying, there, on the subject of metals, an analysis by Dr. Konstantinos Farsalinos found that even assuming an extreme 1,200 puffs per day by a user, the levels of metals daily vapor are exposed to are between 2.6 and 77,000 times less than are allowed in inhalable medications, workplace exposure, etc. And he cited the source, which I'll be linking in the description below if you guys want to read that study. And very powerful message from Mr. Greg Connolly, and I applaud you, Greg. Thank you so much. We all thank you as far as the vaping community. So yeah, after that, vapers dole out over 1,100 1-star reviews, forcing the DWMHA to shut down their page. That was only temporary, as currently it is back up, but it has over 2,400 1-star reviews now, all by vapers, and they are posting responses to pretty much every one of their posts, just kind of berating them for spreading this rhetoric and false information. So all of you guys out there that got involved with this, of course, give yourself a little pat on the back. And to anyone that hasn't seen this or doesn't know about this yet, make sure you go and give them a 1-star review. Make sure you tell them about vaping and how it saved your life and affected the lives of your friends and family members around you, and just anything like that. Now, I would recommend you stay away from the topics about metals and stuff like that if you don't know enough about it. Now, that is including myself, because I don't personally know a whole lot about the medical side of vaping. But I try to read as many of these studies as I possibly can. But usually I try to let the professionals handle things. I mean, this kind of goes back to the whole thing with the rallies and all things like that, because a show of force really isn't going to do us anything right now as far as, rallying against, the FDA or anything. But if we can do something like this and possibly just poke our nose into the people that are spreading this demonizing the vapor industry and all that stuff, then I think we are doing something successful and something productive as far as the vaping industry is concerned. So that's your job out there as a viewer of this, and as a if you consider yourself involved in advocacy in any sort of way, then I would recommend just going over, checking out their page, and maybe giving it a 1-star review. Greg also posted a follow-up by saying possibly the AVA might be willing to sponsor a billboard close to there of their own, similar to what Not Blowing Smoke does, and just kind of posting up some sort of positive information in as far as vaping is concerned. I think that would be awesome, because that would just kind of show that we are out here, we are vapers, we are 4 million plus strong in the U.S. alone, and we are a proud people. We don't take crap from anybody. And the DWMHA, obviously, I'm assuming, I don't know what they're really looking for. I've heard a few rumors that they're trying to get you to go to counseling. They're trying to sell you insurance, this and that. If you call the number, they actually lead you to another business that's going to sell you something, or something like that. So I'm always suspicious of things like that, because it's like, what are they really after? I've seen a few things like on Facebook posts and things like that where there are these little ads, these sponsored ads for vaping device explosions and whatnot, being lawsuits. And if you have experienced this, then you should contact these people and in order to like sue the vapor companies that did this. But come on, you're just looking for any excuses. This kind of goes all the way back to the formaldehyde study, but it was funded by a set of trial lawyers looking for lawsuits against the vapor industry. And you got to understand that there is a lot of money behind these little projects like this. So it might be okay, this company is trying to bash vaping, but in the end, everyone's always looking for their money. They're looking to make profit off of an industry. So make sure if you see anything like this, of course, tag your favorite advocate, whether it be Dimitri or Greg or Kasa, Safada, Not Blowing Smoke, Stefan Didek, anyone, anyone that's a leading authority in advocacy. Make sure you let them know, inform them on whether they're Facebook groups, private messages, whatever you got to do, get their attention and draw this so that we can have these kind of small calls to action. Because this type of everyday advocacy is what is ultimately going to save our industry. And really, I can't say this enough. Just by getting involved and saying your 2 cents makes a difference. I mean, it may not make a massive step forward or anything like that, but it's baby steps. It's the little tiny things like this. This and the CNBC International Twitter poll and just things like that vapors can kind of get their hands on and just be able to take over, basically, is what's going to lead us to an ultimate victory. So, other than that, there's not a whole lot of advocacy news this week. I haven't really heard anything as far as HR 2058 goes or Cole Bishop Amendment. Aside from, I know the HR 2058 got its first bipartisan support, which is a big step. That's definitely a good thing. I don't think it's going to be a complete game changer, but in the end, now we have 2 bipartisan efforts that will help our industry out. So that's great. So awesome. Cheers to that. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really heard too much else out there. And you know what? That's kind of a good thing in certain ways, because no news is good news, I guess. But I would like to hear something. Hopefully, we make some more leaps and bounds. HR 2058 gets co-sponsors almost daily now, so make sure you keep up with that on Kasa's Facebook page or on pretty much all their social media. They're going to be announcing these kind of things. But HR 2058 is still moving along. It's still kind of chugging along. The Cole Bishop Amendment is doing well as well. So hopefully these things can move forward. And that August 8th date is coming up quick. It's only a month and less than a month and a half away. So it's time to get mad, people. It's time to get pissed off. It's time to take action. It's time to call, write, email your senators, your congresspeople, everyone you got to. CASA is a great way to do this because they have a form letter already filled out. You can just type in your own personal story if you want to, which I do recommend doing. And it'll automatically send it out to all your state representatives. And that, just by doing that, that's just little baby steps in the right direction, getting these things to move forward. So do your part. I mention it in every single video. You got to check out the advocacy links in the description below. You got to fight for your right to vape. And I really do mean that, because it's all of our jobs to save this industry, and you just got to do your own thing and your own advocating and educate people on what vaping really is, how it helped you, and everything like that. So just get out there, do your part. Don't hate. I don't want to see bashing or threatening or anything like that. Just be polite, be patient with these people, and just educate. That's what you got to do. So, that's about all I have as far as everyday advocacy is concerned. Until next week, hopefully we hear some bigger news. But yeah, let's just go ahead and move forward. So anyways, moving forward, we have some background information, I kind of wanted to give my new subscribers a little bit more background information about who I am, where I came from, and where this channel I feel like is going, and also a few little minor changes as well, but nothing to worry about, so don't worry about that. Anyways, so let me give you guys a little bit of background information just on who I am and like where I got my beginnings. So I started doing YouTube videos about 2 years ago to help people quit smoking. That's why I got started. That's why I did this whole thing. I just wanted to tell people about the products that I enjoy so that hopefully it makes their transition from smoking to vaping a little bit easier. I know I had some trouble right at the start. You know, devices weren't working, things kept breaking, this and that, the other. I was trying to find the right product for me, and that seemed to be a bit of a challenge. So I just kind of wanted to showcase the products that I found that I really liked and what I was vaping on, and kind of like, you know, just helping the community as a whole. I feel like that's kind of my whole mission here. I wanted to make it easier for people to find the right products, so that they didn't make the same bad decisions that I did, and hopefully help a few people. One problem that I noticed almost right away is that you can't make everyone happy on YouTube. I mean, the internet is a vast place, and there's a lot of different type of people out there that are looking for something somewhat specific. And if I don't do it in their mind the right way, then I am wrong, which I completely disagree with. You know, I try to be somewhat of a middle ground for a lot of people. I try to find something that the average vapor is going to find entertaining as well as informative, and hopefully help some people out there. You know, I am on top of battery safety. I try to make sure people know that safe batteries are a thing, and that they shouldn't be using the wrong type of batteries and all that stuff. So that's just kind of who I am, and I will stand firm on battery safety, because that particular topic is very important to me. But when it comes to things like builds and stuff like that, I feel like there's really no completely wrong way of doing things. I just try to put my own spin on things and try to do it the easiest way that I can possible, basically, because I mean, yeah, I'm the average vapor. I don't have a ton of time to build. I don't want to spend hours making one coil or anything like that. So I try to get something out there within, 20-minute videos that anyone can really just pick up and do, and leave nothing out. So I try to put as much of the video as I can in regular speed, and just kind of speed through the things that it's kind of tedious and stuff like that. But that's just kind of what I always intended to do. Everybody's loving the Fresh Build Friday videos, which is great. Thank you guys so very much. And thanks to all new subscribers out there. Thank you guys especially, because you are all the reason why I am able to do the things that I do. So thank you guys so very much, and cheers. So basically, what I'm trying to say with all this is I try to bring content that you'll enjoy, but also be informational and educational at a reasonable pace. So that's kind of this channel. This channel is me being me, doing stuff that I like to do. And that's just me. What you're seeing is me. I'm not a personality. I'm not the over-the-top kind of type, but I am who I am. And I don't change when I go to shows or anything like that. Like, I'm just me. And you're seeing me right here, right now, in my element, doing what I love doing. So, there you go. Sometimes it's hard for me to stay censored, because I am kind of a censored type. I don't swear so much on this channel, but I feel like PG-13 is okay. I know this is an adult product and we're in an adult marketplace here, but I don't want my channel to be over the top and, just kind of be one of those people that just swears all the time. I mean, I have no problem with that. If you want to do that on your channel, like I know some of the other guys out there swear on their channels, and that's fine. but that's really not who I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be the PG-13, like, okay to watch around your kids or whatever. If you want to put it on the TV in the living room, then it's going to be perfectly fine. If you want to put it on with people around you, you're not going to hear F this and F that. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm going to let a little bit more loose lately, but I just, with all this stuff going on with the FDA, it's kind of hard. But I feel like anything that you can say on, late night TV, I think is acceptable. But you're probably not going to be hearing too many F-bombs out of my mouth. I'll tell you that much. I will say, like I said in an earlier vlog, any clips that I play or anything like that, it's going to be completely uncensored, so just be careful. Show footage and stuff like that, it's uncensored, so just be careful. Again, if you want to watch me completely uncensored and off the chain, I usually let loose on my Friday night show, which I'll drop a link in the description. We won't be broadcasting the next couple weeks because my co-host Jay is on vacation, but I will be sure to let you guys know as soon as we're broadcasting again. I'll post a link on my Facebook page, which also kind of brings me to another topic, which is a possible Wednesday show or something like that, maybe like periodic live broadcasts from my Facebook page. That's kind of why I encourage you guys to follow me on my different social medias, because each one is their own kind of thing. Like, my Instagram is my Instagram. I post my hand checks on there, my selfies, my, random stuff that I'm up to. That's like where all my photos go, is like all through Instagram. Twitter kind of mirrors my Instagram and my Facebook page, and it's just kind of a compilation of everything. Sometimes I'll tweet random stuff on there, so pay a little closer attention because I will be tweeting more. I've been trying to get more active on my Twitter. My Snapchat is all randomness. Usually when I'm bored at the shop, I'll do a quick snap here and there, but that is all just completely random stuff. So if you like random stuff, then check out my Snapchat. Facebook is a little bit more serious again. That's where I've been posting a lot of advocacy stuff. That's where I share a lot of the advocacy topics that I find. It's kind of my own mental collaboration or whatever, just so I remember to talk about certain things, certain topics and stuff like that on these videos here. But I will probably also be doing a little bit more on as far as Facebook Live. I love Facebook Live. It's a really good tool to use, and I feel like you guys could definitely appreciate it too, because again, it's kind of more raw. It's very I don't know, off the cuff kind of footage there. You're not seeing anything edited or anything like that. You can ask me questions live and all that good stuff. So pay close attention to my Facebook page, because I will be broadcasting live from Vapor Slam. I will be attending Vapor Slam this coming week, or this coming weekend rather. So make sure you pay attention to that. Let's see. A few more little things. Not everyone will like every YouTube personality out there, which is fine. If you like more Rip Tripper style videos, then I encourage you to go check him out. If you like more Vaping with Twisted 420, then check him out. If you like Grim Green, of course. These guys are all doing their own thing. They're all their own personalities. I am me. So hopefully you guys are here for all the right reasons, and I hope you stick around because I have a lot more interesting stuff coming in the near future. So you'll be seeing a few minor changes to the channel in the coming weeks. Just little tiny tweaks. I'm really not doing anything major, but just little aesthetic changes and just minor tweaks and changes and things like that. But I'm just kind of working on keeping my stuff fresh and everything like that. So I'm always constantly looking for ways to improve, and I'm a perfectionist, so everything that I do, I try to get spot on and right. So hopefully things will be a little bit more clear what I'm talking about in the next coming weeks. But I'm thinking about reviving the Extras series for a way to put devices and flavors against each other. For instance, a short 5 to 10 minute video explaining the differences in two similar objects or radical opinions on vaping fundamentals. What that means is random little videos of, comparing two tanks or comparing two similar flavors, or just, you know, what I think is the best battery out in the market and what I like, you know, this month or something like that, I'm thinking about doing little short extra videos. So make sure you keep an eye out for those. I feel like that could definitely be pretty lucrative as far as the channel is concerned. I know not a lot of you are going to watch, you know, every single one of my 20-minute reviews or whatever. So that's something that's coming for anyone that's looking for the shorter, punchier, slightly more edited videos, and I hope you guys will enjoy that. So yeah, that's about it. Really nothing major. You don't really have to be concerned. But just going to be a few minor little aesthetic changes coming to the channel in the near future. But I think you guys will like it. I think you guys will be happy for me. So there you go. Let's go ahead and move on with this video here. Vape drama alert. All right, everybody pay attention. We've got something kind of funny to showcase today. I won't be playing the clip or anything like that, but I did share it on my Facebook page, so I do recommend checking it out. I'll have a link in the description. This little segment I like to call CJ versus FDA-approved e-liquid. So Naked Fish e-liquid calls up CJ from Vapor Trail in Western Buffalo, New York, and says their e-liquid is FDA-approved. Now, right there, that's a huge red flag. Obviously, CJ is a big-time advocate for the vaping industry, and I feel like he would know a little bit better than most on this topic here. No e-liquid has been approved by the FDA. I mean, your facility that you make it in can be FDA approved. Your manufacturing process can follow the standards and guidelines. Your individual flavor components and your PG, VG, nicotine, all that stuff can be FDA approved, but e-liquid itself cannot be FDA approved. That's all there is to it. But before I really get into it, I just kind of wanted to give you guys a play-by-play of what happens in this video here. So CJ gets a phone call. This guy claims that his e-liquid is FDA approved, by which CJ responds by saying, how is it approved if the forms aren't even out yet? And that's something that should be obvious to pretty much everyone out there. The forms aren't even out yet for getting your FDA your approval by the FDA, or even your testing by the FDA. So no. So the guy stumbles over his script, which he's obviously reading off of, and says he'll send him an email with all the proof that his e-liquid is FDA approved. Now, this is something where you've got to believe that this guy is just kind of has his little script here, and he just has a list of phone numbers to call, and he just goes one by one, you know, hey, is this so-and-so from this shop? My name is blah, blah, blah from Naked Fish. Our e-liquid is FDA approved, blah, 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 blah. Come on, if you don't know enough about it, just leave that out. Please, do us all a favor. Don't go spreading, you know, bullshit. There you go. There's your first swear of the day, but don't go spreading this kind of crap around where you calling your e-liquid FDA approved. It is not. It cannot be, and probably won't be. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, the CJ asks what they do for advocacy, to which the guy seems to have no idea what advocacy even is. This is a pretty important thing to me because I try to be as much of an advocate as I can be, and someone out there that's in this industry selling e-liquid that has no idea about advocacy or, you know, any of the groups or anything, they don't even know the acronyms, so that's pretty sad. And this guy just didn't seem to even know what advocacy even was. He just kind of stumbles and goes, I'll just send you an email. To which, like, I would think, like, if you're involved with a company, at the very least, you should know who they're involved with, you know, whether they donate to Safada or CASA or AVA or any of these other groups out there, whether you sponsor a local chapter of, you know, Smoke Free or whatever. Just know that information. Know that before knowing or thinking that your e-liquid is FDA approved. I mean, that should just be obvious, but apparently not. Apparently advocacy is something that's not on the forefront of their sales pitch. Apparently their flavors should sell themselves, but that's to be determined. I'm sure there's a few Naked Fish fans out there, not really, you know, hating on their juice or anything like that, but I'm just saying, as a company, as a, representative of a company, know your shit. There you go. So yeah, then he just goes to, this just goes to show how little certain companies think of their vendors, that they don't even care about the vaping community as a whole. And that's something that everyone should be concerned about at this point. Everyone. Every shop owner, every shop employee, every e-liquid manufacturer or distributor, and every mod maker should know at the very least what these advocacy groups are, what they do, how to help, where to go to sign up, etc., etc. And if you don't know any of that, then why are you even in this industry? Just please move aside, let the next person try to do it better than you. It's shameful. It's really a shame. It's almost like a tragedy that we can't get our own people involved with advocacy. I mean, this industry is growing by leaps and bounds. I've seen it grow over the past 4 years, going 4.5 now that I've been vaping. And I've seen it grow so huge to the point in which, when I first started vaping, the whole mom and pop business kind of thing was the norm. You would find these little vendors with websites. You didn't really know where it was coming from. You just knew that it was good. And you really didn't even care about diacetyl or AP or sucralose or any of those things. But now we have to be, tack sharp. We need to know our stuff. We need to know about advocacy. We need to know, where to send people to fight for their right to vape. We need to know what's in our e-liquid, where it comes from, all of the manufacturing process, how clean it is, and everything like that. And that's just basic stuff. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, like I said, as a representative of your company, you really should know that what groups you belong to or give to or whatever. I mean, at the very least, I'm talking bare minimum stuff here. And it's just sad to see that there's certain companies out there that don't know that. And I'm sure Naked Fish is not the only one. I can almost guarantee you. It affects me more because I work at a shop and I see this stuff pretty much every day. You get phone calls from vendors and they pitch their juice and they say, oh, it's good, it's this, it's that. There's people out there that are using tobacco-free nicotine now. I still have yet to see, how that actually goes, and, why, if that's a thing, then we all aren't using tobacco-free nicotine. But it just kind of goes to show that these vendors just don't care. And it's really unfortunate because you have to care. And if you don't care, then you're going to be left behind. I'm telling you that right now as, a consumer and as a shop employee. I'm calling out every vendor right now, just saying, watch your back, because if you don't know this stuff, people are going to write you off in a heartbeat. I mean, the hype juice phase is dead, and it will not continue after regulations happen. So you better be in it for the long haul. I'm just saying, know your stuff, get out there, fight for your right to vape, advocate, do what you got to do, give money to CASA. I mean, you're making money hand over fist. You should be able to give back a little bit to the little guy out there. So help out your advocacy groups, know who they are. If you see them at a convention or anything like that, shake their hand. If, one thing that I saw at VPX was when, right before they opened the doors to the public, they kind of had this gathering where they called all the vendors over to the main stage. They wanted everyone to put down what they were doing and just listen for 5 minutes about advocacy and what they can do right now to help. And unfortunately, I would say less than half made their way over to the booth. You still had people sitting there talking, blowing clouds, doing vape tricks, vape models just standing there looking pretty, not giving a crap about anything. And that is really sad to me, because everyone should be involved in this. I don't care where you stand on the the spectrum of this industry. We all need to be advocates, and we all need to tell smokers what vaping is and not snub them because they're smokers and we're vapors. We need to include them, bring them into our world so that we can convert them, or at the very least, educate them on what we're doing here. So Anyways, that about does it for vape drama. Just wanted to touch on a few little things before I sign out here, but I'm just going to have a vape real quick. Fresh battery, though. Anyways, guys, we went over a lot today. We had a lot to talk about, but I hope I made my point. I hope I was pretty clear and concise on these topics. Hopefully we will continue to do this sort of format like this here. I kind of like doing these vlogs because it gets a lot of topics out there at once. A few minor little clerical things. I didn't do shout outs today because I didn't get any emails in. So make sure you send me those emails, guys. If you want to shout out on my vlogs, send me an email, just dailyvapetv@gmail.com, and just let me know who you are and what you're all about and why you want a shout out, and I'll be sure to do that in my next video. So yeah, that's that's really all I got for you guys today. The coil art coil thing, I really want to get that done. So just keep me posted on what you guys want to be seeing, and I will try to get it out to you in the next Let's Vape video. Stay tuned for more. I got lots of stuff coming up. I'm going to be broadcasting live from Vapor Slam. I don't know if I'll be doing it through Periscope. I really like the Facebook Live thing because the comments are a little bit more clear and stuff like that. So pay attention to my Facebook page because that's where you're going to see it. Of course, check the links in the description for any of the products and stuff that I mentioned today. Anything that we talked about or went over, links will be down there for you guys. Of course, check the links in the description for Advocacy. I say this in every single video. You got to get out there and fight for your right to vape. Check me out on all my different social media pages. I have Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like me on or follow me on there. Like my page on Facebook. Check out my Snapchat. And if you want to give me a couple of bucks, then my Patreon is still wide open. You can do that. I'm not a business owner. I am not affiliated with any companies out there, so a few bucks would definitely help me out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. That about does it for me, guys. So thanks again for watching. And as always, vape on.